What are some skinny people problems? My dad had cancer last year and lost almost 50 pounds. He beat it and is well on the way to a full recovery. This spring he went through Catholic confirmation after being a lifetime member who had never been confirmed, so naturally he wanted to look his best. None of his suit pants fit, or were even close to fitting. They just fell right off of him. He ended up having to wear a pair of blue jeans. I used to be tall and bony when I was a teen. 6 feet 3 inches and 140 pounds. Shopping for clothing was always the worst. Mediums were too big and I hated how I looked in them. But smalls didn't go far enough down my torso to cover my belt. It was very seldom that I could find clothes that I liked, and consequently, I wore the same few articles of clothing very often. 6'2" and 160 pounds. Athletic, but skinny. I haven't seen any sports comments here, but that's where I find most issues. For example, shoulder pads. Coach gives me the smallest ones because I'm narrow, while I have broader shoulders than some other guys on the team. Height makes you seem skinnier. It's like a blessing and a curse. I love being taller than most people, but 160 is pathetic body weight for 6'2". I'm stronger than I appear though. I can squat 205 but my legs are still skinnier than a chicken's. I hope I can fill out soon. I cannot believe the lack of comments about gaining weight. Particularly, gaining muscle mass. It's so hard for a skinny person with a high metabolism. Believe it or not, some skinny people don't want to be skinny. Buying clothes is pretty rough sometimes. Most of what's on the rack is aimed at people 3 times my size. If I get pants long enough, the waist is too big. Always. I carry a pistol, though, so this isn't so bad. Honestly, I'd do it on purpose. Realistically, the most annoying part is listening to fat people complain about fat problems and not being able to point out the obvious solution because it's hateful to offer fact-based advice into an echo chamber. People assuming I will eat less or more because of my size. Just making assumptions about my diet/portions in general. I don't understand why it's people's business. No butt, no hips, no boobs. My kids are what I thought was normal and healthy shape/weight. Can't fit a pair of pants on them without maxing out the internal elastic plus button thing. My husband can no longer purchase pants at Costco. He is a 30 by 30. This distresses him because, if he could, he would buy everything he needs for life at Costco. I haven't seen anyone else mention this, but being very thin and pregnant has made it very difficult to hide the baby bump. Having previously suffered early pregnancy losses, I have a lot of anxiety and really don't want to tell people I'm pregnant until I know everything is safe and well. Unfortunately, being short and slim, my bump is already pretty visible even though we have a long way yet to go, and I don't feel ready to tell people in my life. My dad calls me a bone. Cold. Always freaking cold. I put on about 80 pounds after my second pregnancy due to a medication I needed to take. When I lost that weight, it was the first thing I noticed. I never realized how cold I always was until I was naturally insulated. People trying to monitor how much you eat and making you feel ashamed for not eating up to their standards. Some people mean well and want you to be healthy, which I understand. But when it's done to the extreme by many people, it only causes stomach problems or unhealthy relationships with eating/food. No, I can't eat anything I want. I can still gain weight, and I pay attention to what I eat every day. Just because you aren't gaining weight doesn't mean you're safe from everything else in your food. I ended up with high cholesterol out of the blue. I'm sure it would have been easier to notice if I'd been gaining weight. That said, I then started gaining weight when I got older, and I definitely preferred it the other way. Mine is this. I've been skinny all my life, but on my mum's side of the family all the blokes are around 6 feet tall and built big. I eat loads, and never put weight on. I can eat more than a pal who is around 1.5 times my weight, and he's the same age as me. When I was 10, everyone told me I'd start putting on weight when I hit puberty. then it moved back to when you turn 18, then 21, then 30, then 35, then 40. I'm 44 now and still only weigh about a stone more than when I was 14. I don't see relatives that often, but when I do they still crack the same jokes. There's a thread hanging off your shorts, oh sorry it's your leg. People always telling you shit like USHOULDE at Murray and why don't why you go to the gym? Yo you're so skinny. Honestly it gets hurtful after a bit. I never really minded it because I liked being like this, but now it's just hurtful. It's hard for me to get bigger, if you will. I'll eat and eat but I'll never get any bigger. I've tried to tell them that I try to get bigger, but they still continue to say shit like that. Sorry, this got emotional. TL, drive, people always tell me I need to go to the gym and eat more so I get bigger. Not eating what you want all day. I'm not really skinny anymore, not overweight, just not skinny, but I used to be when I was in my teens and early 20s. The thing that always annoyed me was that people will comment on it, letting you know that you're skinny and how you should eat more. It was to the point that I was self-conscious about my body. I just had a super fast metabolism. I couldn't gain weight if I tried at that time. People love to comment on your weight. That weird thing people do to check your wrist size. My time has come. It's hard to be skinny honestly. I've tried to gain weight for years and all I've managed is a minuscule amount of chub on my lower tummy. People are always skinny shaming you, and then acting like skinny shaming isn't a thing. It hurts my feelings when you comment on how little I eat. It hurts my feelings when you say, you need some meat on your bones, when you're always cold. It hurts my feelings that I can never vent about my issues, like jeans don't fit properly in the ass/hip area. Or that shirts are super long on me because my torso is short and thin. Or that skirts fall off my hips. Or that every single pair of pants I have must be tailored by my mom who actually knows how to sew. It hurts my feelings when I think about that fact my mom is going to pass one day and I'll have nobody to willingly help me find clothes that fit and tailor clothes to my specific measurements. Just because I'm not overweight doesn't mean I don't have feelings. I have lots of feelings, and lots of insecurities. My breasts are not big, my hips are not wide, my butt isn't big. Everything you see in the media these days displays fit women with huge curves. And that's just not me. I have been fetishized for my size. Men want to be with someone they can lift, carry, and throw around to feel powerful during sex. They don't listen when you say you're in pain, or that hurts, or anything. I have had to physically run away from men who don't care about my pleasure or comfortability. And you never know if a guy is going to treat you that way until you're in the sack. Women fetishize skinny girls too. But not quite in the same way. It's a dream for them, and a nightmare for me. People constantly trying to fatten you up. Everyone including their moms think you're a teenager still even though you're a grown man. Bruises everywhere all the time. Can't lay on one side cause that hip is bruised, can't lay on the other cause that shoulder is bruised. Oh yeah, and a pillow between the knees when I sleep, otherwise I'll get bruises there, too. Everyone asks you if you are given food, suffer from anorexia, a flatworm or some other reason you might be skinny. So yay, fun. Having to constantly flex your arms at the beach so people don't think you're a skeleton. Getting fat. People telling me to eat more gets really annoying. Somebody get that kid a sandwich. You think you're funny? You think you're the first person to say that to me? Found a slim fit shirt? Barely reaches your belly button. Found one that does. Not slim anymore. Found a skirt that fits your waist. Your butt is showing. Found a skirt that's long enough. Sags down to the hips. Found an excess belt. No you didn't cause no one sells those. It's hard to be. ELONGATED. Sitting next to a fat guy on a roller coaster so the bathing doesn't come anywhere close to you. I can never find the clothes I want in my size. Went from 230 to 170 and while I wasn't skinny, I wasn't prepared for how much wooden chairs hurt when your cushion is gone. Also my shoes didn't fit right anymore. Everything I owned was too big and I couldn't afford to replace my wardrobe, so I just walked around in too big everything for over a year. Not me, but a girl I used to work with didn't weigh enough to use the ride-on lawnmower. It had a safety switch in the seat that she couldn't trigger by sitting on it.